What's up, superstars? Welcome back to Crypto Cornucopia, where you come for the latest crypto news, education, and a path to prosperity. I make these videos for beginners, so if there's anybody you know that wants to learn more about crypto, share the love and share the video. As you can see, I do hours of research on YouTube every single day, so you don't have to. I know you're busy, so set the video to 1.5 or 1.75 so you get through it quick. Use the links below for more information on what I bring or to sign up and get your journey started. Ask questions so I can help you learn, and watch out for the scammers down in the comments below. If it looks weird, it is weird. Here we go. It is November 23rd, 2021, and another exciting day in crypto. We'll go over all the mass adoption that's happening. But let's take a look at the sentiment. Market cap is moving back up. Sentiment's about the same, and Ethereum sentiment is actually a lot higher and it's starting to move up. Hottest on Twitter are AMP, Iris, Sand, UOS, XVS, Rose, VGX, and MFT. But the top gainers, baby, AMP. I know some people that were holding that all the way from a penny. Up 35% just today. Loopring still on a tear because of the GameStop news. Sand still on a tear, and we've got some TA that I'm going to go over for that. Doesn't look like it's going to stop. Ren, finally, this thing didn't move forever. And then Phantom, boom, baby. I love it. Got out of that at about 220, dropped all the way down to 190, picked it back up, and let it ride. All right, so let's look at the sentiment. This is again trade the chain, and I want to take a look at the daily sentiment for tokens. And honestly, I haven't been able to trade very much off of this, but it just kind of gives me an idea. I'm not sure if it's worth the price, however. So we got Val Finance. I've been in this for over a year, getting 600% APY for that. Iris is up here at the top two, and then Amplification as well. And then notables, because you can see here they give them a score. Anything above 70 is pretty good. You got Waves, Sandbox, Ultra, Venus, Wazir, Akash, and Oasis. And one thing that I've been trying to really time is the 1 hour projected range. So this number in the middle here, it says that this is within 90% accuracy what's going to happen within the next hour. But I got to be honest, not really worth going in for 5% in an hour, the way that these things are so volatile. So not sure. But I can tell you I'm really excited. I went ahead and pulled the trigger, got the token metrics. And this one I'm extremely excited about because this doesn't just have sentiment. This has a lot of other analytics in it. And the TM grade is the one that I want to take a look at. Now the coolest thing, actually, let me scroll back up. The coolest thing about this is, so they take all the tokens out there and they give it a grade for the day. And what's really cool is you can take a look at them and what they've been going. So if the 24-hour price range for DVF hasn't gone anywhere yet, well, maybe this is a good time to get in because it's only a 67 million market cap. Get what you want and then go on. But I can tell you what I did get into today was D-Race. Been hearing a lot about that, and I have access to it on crypto.com and PancakeSwap. And then also Avagache Ghost. This is like a metaverse play, and they had this one over on KuCoin. So I picked it up over there. But the other thing that's really cool about this platform, and by the way, you can go in, you can divide up this is everything, but you can go into exchange tokens, DeFi tokens, stable coins. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but anything on the Binance Smart Chain, Solana, and that's pretty cool. So you can break it down. But what I love the most is the indices. And by the way, I have the ratings, and I don't think I have sentiment and on-chain, but that's okay. That's not that big of a deal. The indices right here, you can take a look at the highest grades over these exchanges. And by the way, I only have KuCoin here, so this is the one I would look at anyway. So click on this, and it has the best returns anyway, because it has a lot more tokens, I think, that are more volatile. But this is the indices for what they bought today. So they got Avalanche, which is still on a tear, Yield Guild Games, Avagache, Moonstarter, and Elrond, all moving very well today. And you can see right here that this is the index return on investment, and they're comparing it against Bitcoin return on investment. All right, so if you go down here, this is how it breaks down. How much have they gotten in return so far for the day, the initial price they bought, the current price, what it's weighted, and so on. But you can also go through and say, you know what, I'm not a day trader. I don't want to do that. Well, what's going on weekly? And let's make sure it's on KuCoin. All right, so you got PYR, Vulcan Forged, Divi, Swissborg, Avalanche, and Render. They think that for the week that all these tokens are going to do very well. So you can literally just trade off of that. But you kind of want to set it and forget it and say, I know I want to make this much, and I just want to do it for the week. I don't want to look at it every single day. You can do that. Very cool. Now, they also have a low cap section. So anything under 30 million. So really, 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 really risky here. I have not heard of any of these. And I guess if I really wanted to, I can get into this, but I'm into so many things already. Not going to even try that. But there's a lot more you can do with this. If you go into a token specifically, so I have Polkadot pulled up here because I'm wondering why it hasn't been doing so well. So, you know, it gives you all the normal analytics or the information, the price, how much it's gone in 24 hours, the market cap, circulating supply, total supply. And I would trust this format and this this website over, say, CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap because they're owned by other people. I mean, Token Metrics is unbiased; they don't care. So this is the price chart. Not looking so great over the last 3 months. Kind of sideways. But what Bill Noble always says is, when it's boring you to tears, that's when it can break out. But anyway, this is just to show you what it is. Okay, so the daily TM grade specifically for this token is only 25%. And remember, we want to stay in the 90s to really try to get something out of it. And overall, really not a lot, which is surprising to me since they have the parachain auctions. So I'd expected more into this. The only thing I can say is maybe it's built into the price already. People already bought it in preparation. So they also have options for discussion, trends, social, and videos. I haven't gotten into that stuff. I don't want to go too far. But then they give you a description of it. So very cool stuff. Then we head over to Market Rebellion. No new headlines except for Bank of America sees stablecoin regulation as catalyst to mass adoption. That's going to be in my news segment. Nothing new here except for Biden renominates Powell as Fed chair. And then if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, you can see it dipped down all the way down to 55 and got gobbled up. Look, this is line at 55. Look at all these wicks. As soon as it goes down, it gets bought right back up. And happens over and over. So what one of the analysts was saying, if you take a look at this pattern here, this is a W pattern. And the pattern isn't confirmed until you get above this higher high. So it essentially needs to get up to about 61,000 in order for this to be confirmed, but then it can really take off. But we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 5, 6 days out after Thanksgiving, most likely. And I want to go into the ethgas.watch, and yeah, this is on Ethereum. It's ridiculous. The fees right now are just ridiculous. So only the big players are on Ethereum right now. It's not going very well there. All right, so let's get into it. Go into the slideshow. I am. All right, so the mass adoption continues. Before we get into that, we're going to go over, instead of just terminology, but there's actually a difference. Not all cryptos are cryptocurrencies. And then you also have coins and tokens. So this is a nice little layout of what's the difference between a coin and a token. So a coin is a digital currency similar to the physical currency. A token is a digital asset issued on a particular project. Coin operates on its own blockchain with its own protocol. So you can say it's a native of its own chain. Token does not operate on their own blockchain. Coins are purely used as a source of payment. Tokens are used for payments and signing digital agreements. And then they have a couple examples here. So coins are Ripple and Ethereum. They have their own chains, and they are the native coin. So we use them interchangeably a lot, but you'll notice when a lot more people start talking about this stuff, this is going to be defined much better. Right now, it's all kind of interchangeable. And then Bond or DAO token are examples of tokens. All right, so this is Market Rebellion, and love these guys. I watch them every single day. I love what they have to say here. This is a short-term holder SOPR. So SOPR is their short-term profit loss, essentially. So you can see every time short-term holders sell off, there is a jump afterwards. And that's what they're pointing out here. We just go up, 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 up. All right, so we are very low right now. And they basically see that there's a spike in, well, this is a spike in short-term spending. So essentially what's going on is the people that are selling right now are the people that haven't been in the market very long. They don't know what's going on. They're not used to the volatility, and it's very difficult for them to stay in, which will lead us into a couple more slides after this. So this is Token Metrics. This is Bill Noble, the guy I always talk about, and Forrest, forget his last name. But Forrest is talking about this is basically the bull trend line. We never want to go below it. And you can see that it bounces off the trend line, bounces off the trend line. And he had a scenario, I didn't want to show both slides, but where it could possibly come down here and then most likely will bounce off. If it goes underneath that, then yes, of course, that would mean the bull market's over. But what he thinks is most likely is right here about 56, we're going to bounce around, which is exactly what's been happening. Go up a little bit, come down, and then explode up. All right, and this is Bill Noble talking about, this is the Bitcoin weekly chart. Normally we do daily charts, but weekly is also very important to take a look at. And what he's talking about is that there is a correlation between 3 months and 3 weeks. So Coinbase IPO, after there are major events that include Bitcoin, there's a bit of a drop off. And he was comparing the futures ETF to another ETF that happened previously, and essentially he said it's about 3 weeks before there's a turnaround, and this week would be the last week, the third week. So again, that supports the last chart that Forrest was thinking. And this is also the total crypto market cap. And essentially what he is saying when it comes down to, there's a chart for everything, right? But if we're at this point and we're at this trend line like before, we tapped it, came back up. Now we could tap it again, and then he's thinking that by December 14th we're going to be at 1.8 trillion, and over here more towards January, February, possibly up to about 3 trillion. And I'm sorry, that's the market cap excluding Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is 1 trillion in itself. Boom. All right, so going on to the mass adoption, the publication of the Treasury report on stablecoins early this month is an indication of urgency for the regulation of stablecoins, given their potential to become a viable payments method, Bank of America said in a research note published on Tuesday. So I'm not going to read through all this. The point is that Bank of America is now supporting stablecoins and think that it is actually going to be healthy for the economy and the government to come out with regulations that will help us create innovation. Also, Citibank is going all in on crypto, and it's just another sign of big banks knowing that they don't want to get blockbustered. They want to start in this, and so they're getting into all sorts of crypto. Also, I think it's Latvia becomes first bank, whatever. LHV becomes the first bank in Estonia to allow customers to buy Bitcoin. So Australia's bank, the largest bank over there, was the first bank to do it, allowing customers to buy directly through them, and they will custodian it. Now there's another bank in other countries doing it. Mass adoption, baby. All right, so Latin American e-commerce giant, apparently the largest e-commerce company in Brazil, is now going to enable crypto investments in Brazil. So it'll allow its users to access crypto buying, selling, and custodial services starting this week. All right, guys, better get in, start doing something. All right, don't get left behind. Odell Beckham Jr. has teamed up with Cash App and will be taking 100% of his new NFL contract in Bitcoin. Global adoption is inevitable. That's Joe Pompliano, by the way, and this is CryptosRUs that was bringing that news. Completely agree. And this is huge for me. We were just talking about how the short-term holders, they were selling and losing money. That's what the other chart was showing. And what's happening? Institutional managers bought the dip as crypto funds see 154 million in weekly inflows. You remember the chart I showed you yesterday? It wasn't a chart, but it showed the governments and institutions, companies that hold Bitcoin. Well, we can see who buys what, and 154 million was flowing into those companies of Bitcoin. Actually, just crypto. I'm sorry, not just Bitcoin. All right, so this is just an update on Elrond. Why is it pumping so much? So they had their exchange that I was talking about yesterday where they have ridiculous APRs. I'm sure it won't last too long because the more money goes in there, the less incentive they're going to provide. But they had 1.29 billion USD MEX incentive program. So that's the token on the Maiar exchange. So you can take your eGold, EGLD, pair it with MEX and get about 2,400% as of yesterday. They also have an Ethereum bridge, and they have 1.9 billion total value locked already. This just opened up this week, and they have 1.9 billion already. Then they have 2.5 billion for the market cap of MEX already. So they are on fire. All right, so this is very cool. I thought VeChain, we talk about the supply chain issue. VeChain is, I wouldn't say the leader out there, but the most well-known. I know another one is called Track, TRAC, who is they're more low-key. And I know from Chico Crypto that they are making a lot of contracts behind the scenes, so they're not out advertising all the time. However, VeChain, which is in Asia, I know for a fact met with China, the government, just last week, and now what they did is they're leading the delivery of blockchain-based authentication for retail, fashion, and luxury garments. Deadstock, a US-based vintage fashion market, is the latest to embrace our technology. Mass adoption is inevitable. So what happens? If there are Nike shoes that did not actually come from a Nike factory, there's another factory, might even be the same factory, but it's not contracted through Nike to be made. And what happens is these shoes are sent out, and they're sent to people who just sell them on eBay or wherever else, and it's not an item that's been authorized by Nike or a bunch of other people, chains as well, retail chains. So what they're going to do is they're going to be able to identify with a certain code that these shoes are for real and from Nike and authentic, which is a big issue in the luxury business. All right, this is also just very cool. There are a lot of different platforms out there, but InPoker is doing very well with Online Poker 2.0. InPoker is a fresh new approach to online poker that engages social media influencers and offers the first esports platform with an integrated DeFi protocol that allows players to participate in poker tournaments by supplying crypto assets and unique NFT membership that provides free entries and exclusive benefits. So what are they doing? They're creating their own little society here, and they're doing it by saying, hey, come over here, buy our token, buy our NFTs. Then they put a DeFi aspect to it. So essentially you can take those tokens, you can take those NFTs, you can stake them, get a return off of it, and then also gives you the free entries and exclusive benefits. So very cool. This is where everything's heading, guys. I just want to say it over and over and over. All right, so this is market cap BTC dominance weekly, and right now it is really, really low. Below 40% is what they call an altcoin season. So you've seen everything in the metaverse really pumping up right now. Just a reminder that when BTC, Bitcoin, does decide to pop off and go up, a lot of those altcoins are left behind. Those altcoins are drained and people put it into Bitcoin because essentially it's safer. So that's just a reminder for everybody. And we could be seeing this in the next few weeks is what they're saying here. So it's the fifth red candle week of 11 22. And usually on the 6th week, all right, 5 red candles on the 6th week, it pops up. I think I was supposed to have the slide here earlier. Missed it. All right, we're going into altcoins. AVAX has just been on a tear. Somebody in the space who's very well known basically came out and attacked Ethereum and said, this is ridiculous. We started Ethereum to, for the little people, but little people cannot make any transactions. So we can't do anything. Can't even send money without spending hundreds of dollars anymore. So he basically said, I'm going over to AVAX. And AVAX, one of the things that makes them not as secure is they don't have as many nodes. They're not as decentralized. And that is the trilemma, they call it. You need security, you need decentralization, and you need speed. Well, you have to give up one of those. You have to give up one of those in order to scale, basically. And that's what AVAX did. They gave up decentralization, made it a little more centralized. Not just one entity, so should still be good, but they got the speed for that. All right, so we got Sand here, which has been killing it because they came out with this product within their metaverse. It's a metaverse, the sandbox they call it. And within this metaverse now, they are gamifying it. They are creating, I think it was 13 or 18 different games so that you go in and you engage. And we went over this already, but because of that, it doesn't look like it's going to slow down. So he's saying it could come back down to about $4 and go back up. But when I look at the sentiment within token metrics, it was very high for today. So I actually went in on a little bit today. All right, DOT, the one that bores you to death. And again, this is what Bill always says. When it's boring you to tears, that's when it's ready to explode. So you have this resistance line right here. It's actually support, I should say. And that's about 39. Let's see, it says that 36. So maybe some more, yeah, around 37 instead, sorry. So if it gets lower than 37, it can break down and possibly go down to 24. That's where I would definitely buy more. But it could also stay down here and keep tapping, and going up before it turns up. But that's what he's saying. He said, watch the line. If it goes below 37, then it can go down further. But if it starts to turn up and then heads above 44, it could easily get 250 and then beyond. I mean, some people are calling for it to get to 100, 150 in this bull run. Let's see, it came all the way back from August at about $10. So still not doing that bad. But I still think once parachain auctions all go through, then it's going to see a lot more usage and utility. It's just not shiny right now. And that is it. All right, guys, if you have any questions, leave them below, and I'll see you tomorrow.